High view sucks. That's why you're here, for what you're about to see. A better version, a version that fixes all those things that make us simply hate the map. But we're not just done there. We had to give you something else to look forward to. It's time for more of Vietnam. Dragavan once again on the Civ, this time MSN taking a different angle. He's already played Abbasid up against it. Now he picks Ayyubid. So kind of a mixed bag here for MSN, right? Like the game we watched earlier, he didn't actually know what Vietnam done at all. Now he doesn't know exactly what Pigeon's view is at all. So he's always got something new to learn, and that's actually impressive to me. That first game, he pivoted really well. He adjusted quickly and took the lead. Wondering if we'll see the same here. Because this is an interesting map for Vietnam. We have had some little peaks at this Civ. If you guys want to check this out, by the way, this Civ can be played by you all at home. All you have to do is go to the modding section, type in Hostin81, and the mods will come up, and it's the one called Vietnamese. But what we noticed on this map in particular, the mines is a really powerful detail for the Vietnamese. They can place traps that explode. They're like mini demo ships on land. Those traps are very hard to see, especially when you drop them in stealth forests. That's why Pigeon's View is a pretty bloody good map for a Civ like the Vietnamese. Is it good enough to beat the Abbasid? That's what we're going to find out. Because the whole idea of those mines, where they really thrive, is up against low base HP units, right? Because the whole idea is it's a giant AoE attack of 30 damage. Well, Ayubids don't really do that, right? They don't deal in these massive squishy units. They typically deal in very tanky camel lancers and very tanky men-at-arms in the form of ghouls. I imagine MSN is already aware of that risk in the mines, and is probably why he's going to be looking for your kind of atypical camel lancer game. Other side of this, Dragavan, as seems to always be the case, is going to the Po Min Tower. Now, I mean, the one tough part about this is so far, the builds he's been going for haven't really involved Spearmen. You're going to need Spearmen in this matchup. My only worry is if you do that, it does open an easy door into Golems. Oh, we can do predictions because we're live, can't we? Another reason to always catch me live. Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at midday. Who's going to win? Is it going to be Dragavan or MSN? I'll give you guys 2 minutes to get to it. Yeah. I wonder if Dragavan just tries to play like multi-TC here and bait his opponent into him. Actually, that's hard to do, right? Like, I think this is a very difficult matchup because of the way Ayyubids play the map. I could see Vietnamese struggling a lot against Civs that play Relics. Because the issue there is, like, if you're playing against a Civ where you have an eco advantage, like you have more TCs, they have to go into your base, which means that you can just place explosive traps everywhere and kill their incoming armies. But in a game like this, the fight isn't going to be in your base at like 15 minutes. It's going to be out here on the relics. And that's expensive to set up traps on, right? 25 wood per trap and only 30 damage when you know it's going to be camel lancers or golems. You know, it means to kill a camel lancer, a 30 damage per strike, you're going to need, what is that? Ends up being 8, right? You need... Actually, 7, sorry. 7 mines to kill a camel lancer. Midday? Well, that's how time zones work. Like, I mean, I'm just going to say, you know, my time zone has 0, 0, 0 next to it. So that's what I'm going by. Adjust accordingly for your zone, folks. MSN, moving on the stone here. No mining camp, though. This is simply about getting an outpost up. He's worried Dragavan's going to try to int him. Can you even afford to try and go mass archers here if you're Dragavan? That feels very hollow in this type of game, right? Because archers aren't going to scale quick enough, even if you outpost spam. So remember, with the Po Min Tower, you can build infantry out of all of your outposts. Tech out complete. Looks like MSN did go for the military wing reinforcements, so we have got the first Desert Raider hit in the field. There shouldn't be too much for him to hit here. I actually wonder if this is the type of game where you just shouldn't be going Desert Raider. I'm not really sure you get any value out of it per se. Like, alternatively, you could have went Logistics Wing, which is a pretty cool idea. Getting 2 Logistics Dervishes in the feudal age just sets you up for an immediate relic dump upon castle, right? And make no mistake about it, MSN's goal here is going to be the fast castle because he picked the Ayyubids, and that is literally all they ever do. Man, I really am salty about the state of Ayyubids, aren't I? I don't know, man. I feel like if you're ever at a stage where a Civ literally has one build and one build only for 90% plus of the games, it should not take you more than a month and a half maximum to like release at least some tweak. And this Civ has been this way for, what, 3 months? Actually, I think it's been longer than that. Ambitious dive there. Looks like the poison is going to tick him low, but not quite finish him off. Okay, I'm not sure if the poison values are working correctly still. That was like 10 plus shots coming in. Remember, the way that the Vietnamese work is all their static defenses do have poison arrow shots on them. But goddamn, I can't believe he even stayed alive for a second there. He's just going to hide in a bush and think about what he's done here. Castle Age about to be on the way, though. Quite interesting that he never spent that stone. That's kind of cool. It makes sense, right? Emerson scouted in. He saw his opponent wasn't doing anything aggro. So now you can just save that stone for a later TC transition, like we usually see mid-castle from the Ayyubids. I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of these custom civs, the eco seems to be the lacking thing, right? We had it with Persia. I'm kind of feeling it here with Vietnam as well. I'm not really sure what you're meant to lean into. The idea of the extra wood gathering rate, you get an extra 5% per tech, seems good. But in practice, just feels like it comes in too slow and is too small of a thing. The problem is eco needs coding. Ah. You know what? That's fine. They'll just need to give you the tool. No. Wait, so you mean, like, as in, it's doable, but you just don't have the coding experience, Hosen? Is that what you're saying? Or is it that you can't do it with a tuning pack? It's not doable. Ugh. I had a feeling that was the case. My only hopes is that we can start doing more stuff like this instead of just focusing on the 1v1s, the top 20. And not only does it let us kind of involve players of all levels and their content, but also my hopes is this kind of drives attention and hypes things up on the development side to allow modders to be able to do more. Like, that's why I think it's very important for people to kind of support videos like this, right? Like, if you guys want these type of unique civs made to a fully unique and immersive degree that it is a full Civ of its own, there are modders that will do that. The thing that's really stopping them is Microsoft. Because trust me, guys, I've talked with a lot of modders, and the tools, well, they are definitely not what I call modding community friendly. Just trying to be a little bit annoying. The Pomin just about in the right position to be more annoying in return, though, and it looks like that is going to be a dead Desert Raider. Poison is going to tick him out. So Resistant Headquarters, remember, this is the TC that also stealths all villagers in range. So pretty powerful tool up against Camel Lancers if you get rid of the scouts. That's the big if, though, because right now Emerson has 2 of those. Tech up complete. Growth Wing was the choice. Camel Lancers now immediately queued up. Interesting choice by MSM. We don't often see the blacksmith dropped this early. You're a comp science student? Well, I mean, you say that, but what I will say is my experience with comp science graduates, they're very good at understanding the theory, but not a lot of them practice. So I kind of forgive you if you weren't able to, like, apply coding at first. That's wild to think about, actually. That was so confusing when I first started my career in dev. I was from a computer games design degree. I didn't understand what things like object-oriented programming meant, but I'd done them. And then the flip side was a lot of the people I was on the course with had practically no experience actually coding. They just knew all the fun, like they knew all the theories. Camel Lance is now on the way. MSN should be looking to immediately drop a mosque here. Yeah. And Undermesh also being queued. So I guess the poison defenses are a little bit better against Camel Lancers, right? Because you have 20 less health than a knight, and the poison damage doesn't care about ranged armor. But it's still going to hurt a lot here, right? If you're just relying on static defense. So, little thing about hideouts, guys. They only have 3 garrison slots, so you need a lot of seek sheltering. But the bigger deal here is actually what Dragon's doing. He's trying to get into a crossbow mass without building archery ranges. It's pretty smart. An archery range costs 150 resources. These cost 75 resources each. They do produce 70% slower, but if you do your maths on that, it still makes it overall quicker to just build 2 hideouts to pump units than to build an archery range. Now, the negative is, of course, the initial units take longer to come out, but I actually don't see that as a negative of crossbow mass. Crossbow mass usually sucks in the first few, right? Like, we often see camel lancers just dive and kill one by one the crossbows that are there. So actually just waiting to get double the firepower is kind of a bit better here. It gives you much better of a chance of holding on. MSN now, the switch up Malian to archers. Still, the issue that I'm seeing in this game for Dragavan is he's just not addressing the threat on the map, right? Which is the relic situation. That should be something that heavily favors MSN here. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being a 5 relic game. Second dervish now being queued up. Oh my god. These poison arrows are surprisingly effective at keeping camel lancers at bay. Yeah, it's kind of like when you're against this type of strategy, you'd probably be better served by Gulums than camel lancers, right? Because like you have more entities to hit. Ergo, the poison can't really feel as impactful. Camel lancer charge in. Does chip 1, but should end up costing him 2 of these units. Maybe even more if he's not lucky. Ooh, the camel lancer. That wolf almost puts him over the edge. Both of them are practically dead now. So this is where it'd be a good idea for MSN to just back up. He has got the dervishes, remember, so he can heal these guys. Another cool thing, remember, these crossbows have extra movement speed while being near these hideouts. So it's actually much harder to dive in on them. They're moving quicker than archers would. Yeah, it's the interesting thing actually around Vietnam is the way they've been designed, they're very defensively oriented. And if you want to play aggro, you need to kind of focus your attention around your defenses, right? So hideouts, not just for the fact it's like an outpost Russia feeling, but it's also for production building. It's also a movement speed aura for your infantry. And then houses are just important because remember the houses do give the damage buff to all your unit types. It's basically a bannerman as a house. MSN setting up in the center now, so outpost is being erected. And interestingly enough, we've got crossbow being queued up. That has to be a misclick. You just go archers here, right? Like what you're waiting for now if you're MSN, you want to get into your Mamluks bravery. Because once you have Sultan's Mamluks, these fights will be quite snowbally. The other cool thing here is you can actually kind of scud this area. It's a very high value game for Manjaniques because Manjaniques with incendiary shots might prove worth it if your opponent keeps spamming hideouts like this. Yeah, also the farms, actually. Now that I think about it, incendiary shots are kind of busted against rice terraces. This is some of the Vietnamese get specific to them. It's farms that are much bigger, 50% bigger, but they gather 30% faster. They do, however, cost notably more wood. 100 wood instead of 75. How did you guys vote in the end, by the way? I'm curious. 86% of you voted for Ayubids. Wow, what a diverse group of bettors. Is it 125% bigger? You might be right. No, it'd be 133% bigger, no? Yeah, but like a farm is normally this size, right? No, that's technically, that's 50% bigger. Yeah, I'm right, it's 50% bigger. I guess it depends which way you're doing scaling the mass from. Like, it's either 50% bigger or like 33% bigger. It's 50% bigger from the normal perspective, though. They are big boys. They're chonkers. Oh no, it's beginning, guys. But don't touch my pennies. You know what would actually be sick strat, by the way? Is placing mines behind a wall. Because when someone comes to torch like this, they group. If you had like 5 mines here right now, that's half the HP of all these Camelats is gone. I don't know why I'm giving people more toxic strategies, but just food for thought, guys. Army marching over now. Break on the wall comes in pretty quick without many camel lancers though. He's going to back away. So this is where I'd say you just mine this up. Yeah, agreed, Gully. Like when I first saw them coming out, I was like, oh yeah, this is very efficient. But then I thought about it. It's like not even just the walking time. The other issue is if you think about it, a rice terrace gathers 30% faster, but you're actually paying, what was it, 33% more resources to build it compared to a normal farm. It's like, it's actually, it doesn't really work out that well. Dude, is Dragoman listening to the stream? Yes. Good, Anakin. Good. Let the widow mines flow through you. And yes, it's definitely more pop efficient late game, but we're talking early game. Like early game, I don't think the Rice Terrace is worth it. Scenario shots now coming in. That's actually a really smart. Oh my god, dude. MSN is a goddamn genius. This is such a smart way of dealing with it. We talked about the incendiary shots for the farms, but this is the perfect answer to the explosive traps. Siege crawl begins. Dragovan in a tough situation here. He's blocked out of gold, and he has no gold in his lands, which means he cannot build siege quicker than MSN can. How does Dragovan win this now? It feels like it's going to be an out micro, but even that might be an uphill battle. 24 crossbows compared to 29 archers and 17 camel lances. For some reason, he's building crossbows, but we won't talk about that. Let's see any shots. Ooh, that was actually decent damage. Reload coming in. He doesn't even switch, he just goes for it. He's so worried there's more mines around here. He's just like, duck it, shoot everything. This is like the most intimidating and serious shots I've actually looked in a long time. All these mines are just wasted. She's just going to back up. Spring's starting to trade out here. I mean, Dragovan has to try and fight, but it's becoming futile. And City shots in again. It's kind of smart, really, right? Because like Mango shots could theoretically be dodged with good micro, especially when you've also got the Yamori nearby from the outpost. But I mean, this is impossible. In serious shots, what do you do with that? You just kind of get hit every time, right? Yeah, like Vietnam definitely, like I said, it has some eco issues in the early game. It's definitely late game focused on its economy, but the problem is you're in a meta that doesn't revolve around late game, right? The days of multi-TCing and going fast in, but kind of behind us, except when you're playing English. But yeah, for most civs, you actually have to be present in the game now. MSN. He's getting close to pop. He never went for a second TC, right? No. This is all just off of one. It's kind of interesting, actually, that Dragovan, after all this, isn't really that far ahead on economy. Camelot is now just probing. Farms are at risk, remember. Those Manganiques can easily just clean them up. Yeah, that shouldn't be happening, by the way. Dragovan should never be able to snipe out siege like that. MSN is meant to always maintain military lead in that department. Instead, he goes more Manganique. So actually, Dragovan might have a chance here, guys. I actually think this is a really big blunder by MSN on the Springwell side. The only way you lose these fights now is on Springwell count, right? Still, even if Dragovan snipes all the siege, when you look at the bio in these armies, it's still an overwhelming lead for MSN. And it's a qualitative one, right? Like, his archers are perfectly poised to counter pretty much everything Dragavan's doing. And his archer count is basically the same size as the rest of Dragavan's army. I'm not sure why some of these spinmen show up differently. I think that's because they came out of the Po Min Tower, maybe? Or was it because they came out of a standard racks? Probably. Yeah, that's like an interesting thing with capture age UIs, is like they track units differently depending on if they came out of building or not, right? Like we used to have that all the time with Mangoes built in the field versus built in the Siege Workshop. I'm a little bit hesitant to go in here. I guess maybe he's worried about all those emplacements. The mines as well, right? It's always the mines. Speaking of which, he's walking straight into them right now. Shots coming out. Camelots are taking a heavy hit initially, but the charge is going to be in. Spirals need to be dealt with fast here, but looks like the Mango's going to get taken down. MSN able to push in, though. Camelot's account has been reduced down to half. Siege has all been removed. Dragavan at least out-microing in that department. But now it's just mass range versus Dragavan's army. He can at least reset and survive this wave, but there's a bigger problem, folks. Like, it's just too big of a lead at this stage. MSN would have to run on top of these mines and lose the entire army. And they're all on recharge. Yeah, MSN actually just needs to go hunting for the gold. He's chosen the hardest way to win this game. Like, realistically, he should be looking at Dragavan's military count and going, how does he even have gold anymore? I've been sitting at the front of his base. But MSN's been making a critical blunder there, right? Like, he knows about the north side gold. He knows about the central gold. He just never looked. In fact, Dragavan has been out here so long, he's gathered almost 3,000 gold from this vein. Yeah, if Dragavan wins this, I'm starting to feel like it's more an MSN making an error than just Dragavan playing well. Like, not to say Dragavan isn't doing a good job. Like, he actually out-microed in the siege battle there. But MSN's choosing the hard way to win this, right? In multiple avenues. Those Camelots could have easily went hunting for the economy everywhere, right? He could have easily just dove in a bit more with the archers earlier on. But I think there's a bit of hesitation and probably also an APM difference thinking about that. Like, maybe he just doesn't feel the micro is there. Because it's weird, he didn't win the siege battle whatsoever when he should have. But it's not like he was doing anything else more micro-intensive. I think, if anything, MSN was maybe a bit paranoid about the mines and was too busy looking at them. MSN has finally found that gold, though, so Dragavan finally cut off. Like a sport brat, Papa is not going to give you pocket money anymore. Double mango here, Dragavan. Maybe a little bit ambitious. Springalds trying to hunt in. Some of the mines are starting to recharge. Which means MSN's going to have to think twice about just fully committing. But Dragavan, dude's got no standing army whatsoever, right? 5 bio, 15 in siege. Rams now being built. Not a bad idea. That's something that can easily trigger the mines, and you have quite a lot of health on a ram for what it is, right? It's like, if you think about the trade out, the amount of mines you put on cooldown, you basically get your money back, right? In terms of like countering out a unit. Dive coming in. Camelons is leading the way. Archer Master. Oh! Big hit! MSN! I mean, this is the problem, right? Like right now, this Civ is a little bit memey because of this detail in particular. You don't even know which one of these mines is still working. How is this game not over? I swear to God, this Civ, man. It's tough because, like, now, actually now, MSN just needs to go Manjaniques. Because then you just incinerate all this area as GG, right? Dragavan no longer has gold. Like, if MSN just thinks about this, if he just stops, deep breath, assesses the situation, he knows his opponent has no gold. He just denied it on the south side. This would be the moment to build 3 Manjaniques and scud it all. Instead, he goes Rams. Oh god, we've actually got Siege Carpentry coming. I guess that's for the push-in with Rams. And I think we're getting close to the point where you get the discount, right? Yes, we're very close to getting the 20% discount. You know what beats a 20% discount, though? Almost an 80% discount. That Pro Teamworks code, guys. Second month sponsoring us in a row. Take advantage of it. Yeah, Dragavan has moved north side for the gold now. I worry that MSN is going to read he needs to go Manjaniques, but by the time he does, it's going to be too late. More mines coming up now. So here we go. Send the ram in. No, don't send the camel lance. No, camel lance. I guess this kind of works. Kind of. He's just running through them all to test them. He's like, I don't know which ones are on. I think this is it. MSN, after he calmed down a little bit, took a deep breath, he finally got it together. This army just kind of feels now unkillable. He made the mistake, what, twice? He's not going to make it 3 times. And I say that. Camel Lancers even making their way into the backside. Oh dear. Dragavan, he can at least move back towards the Resistance headquarters. That is going to activate the stealth, so that's when the Camel Lancers will not be able to see him anymore. In fact, you'll see it right there. Oh, wow. Talk about saving his life a little. MSN's still going to hunt even deeper, though. Meantime, the primary TC is being taken out. It's finally done. Oh. Props to Dragavan for just trying to give us that thumbnail moment. That critical blunder, hoping that MSN would throw away an army of 100, but I don't think it's going to happen now. Whoa, boy. I said I don't think it's going to happen now. Calm down. And yes, the villagers do have stealth via the Resistance headquarters. So building a scout, very important. It's why actually the Resistance headquarters is pretty good against the Ayyubids, because the Ayyubids don't build scouts, right? Like, they always just rely on Camel Lancers having more vision than standard knights, so they don't need a scout. That's actually a negative against the Civ. Dragavan, dude. I think it's okay now. Like a ghost that doesn't want to let go. You need to move on. It's time. Go to them. I better not whisper that too loud. MSN might think I'm talking about the mines and just be like, oh, okay. Come here, little mine. I love you. Wait, that's a problem as well. Some of these mines don't disappear when they die. So cursed. Oh. You know, this isn't even the modders' fault, by the way. This comes back to the fact that Microsoft don't want to give the modders the tools to actually make this look much better and much more polished. That's why you guys are important. Your voices matter, and letting Microsoft know what you want. I was about to say you're letting MSN know, because MSN's a Microsoft product. Because I think I'm not alone. I want more stuff like this. I want more cool custom games. I actually think genuinely it is one of the absolute crucial pillars to RTSs to making RTSs great again. But I don't know what's going to make Vietnam great. Because it's starting to feel more and more like they just aren't there yet.